I still remember the night when my world began to fall apart. My name is Ethan Crawford, and I had always believed that my marriage to Sophie was unshakable. For 10 years, I had dedicated myself to building a life for us. I worked endless hours, sacrificed friendships, and even gave up on many of my personal dreams because I thought love required sacrifice. But what I didn't know was that behind my back, my wife had already been betraying me in ways that would scar my soul forever. When I tell this story, it's not just an event. It's a confession of the pain, the anger, and the revenge that consumed me. Because once you've been stabbed by the person you trust the most, you don't remain the same man anymore. You transform into someone who no longer sees the world with innocence. Someone who wants justice, even if it's ugly. It all started with subtle signs. Sophie became distant. She used to laugh with me, cook with me, and even dance with me in the living room on lazy Sunday mornings. But suddenly, she wasn't there. Her phone was always glued to her hand. Her smiles became rare. Her excuses became frequent. I'm going out with friends. It's a late work meeting. Don't wait up for me. I told myself, she's just stressed. Maybe I'm not giving her enough attention. I began working even harder to please her. I surprised her with gifts, arranged weekend getaways, but nothing seemed to matter. She was physically present, but her soul, it belonged somewhere else. One evening, while she was in the shower, her phone buzzed on the nightstand. Normally, I would never look, but something inside me, a mixture of fear and intuition, pushed me to pick it up. The message on the screen made my blood run cold. Last night was unforgettable. Same place tomorrow. The sender's name, Daniel Pierce, my closest friend since college. My hands trembled. My heart pounded so loudly I thought it would break my ribs. My wife and my best friend? My mind refused to believe it. Maybe it was a joke. Maybe I misunderstood. But the truth stared at me through that single message, and no amount of denial could wash it away. That night, I didn't sleep. Sophie lay beside me, peaceful, unaware that I knew. My mind played their images together, their laughter behind my back, their whispers while I was working late to provide for her. I wanted to confront her immediately, but a part of me wanted evidence, the kind of undeniable proof that would destroy her mask forever. So I played along. I kissed her forehead in the morning, told her I loved her, and watched her smile, knowing she had lied with the same lips just hours ago. The next few days, I became an actor in my own life. I tracked her messages, followed her discreetly, and what I saw shattered me. Sophie and Daniel, the two people I loved most, walking hand in hand like lovers in the night. She laughed the way she hadn't laughed with me in months. She kissed him passionately, while I sat in my car across the street, gripping the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles turned white. That was the night the old Ethan Crawford died. Once the truth was undeniable, something inside me snapped. But instead of exploding immediately, I did the opposite. I became calm. Too calm. I knew shouting, screaming, or violence would make me look like the villain. But if I wanted to make Sophie and Daniel pay, I had to be smart. For weeks, I collected evidence. Photos, recordings, screenshots of messages. I built a case so strong that when I unleashed it, there would be no escape. But revenge, for me, wasn't just about exposing them. It was about making them feel the humiliation and emptiness I had felt. I started with Daniel. He trusted me blindly, just as I once trusted him. He often came to me for financial advice, so I offered him a business opportunity. A fake investment deal I crafted with perfect precision. I told him I could help double his savings if he trusted me with the funds. He didn't hesitate. Within a month, I had drained him of nearly everything he owned. But that wasn't enough. I needed to see his world crumble piece by piece. With Sophie, I took a different approach. I didn't confront her. Instead, I played the role of the loving, clueless husband. I gave her more freedom, more money, more trust, and she fell for it. The deeper she went into her affair, the more reckless she became. She didn't know I had already spoken to her boss at work, anonymously leaking her affair with Daniel, who also worked in the same company. Within weeks, both of them faced HR investigations. The whispers spread in their office like wildfire. One evening, Sophie came home crying. She told me she had been unfairly targeted. I held her, comforted her, while secretly smiling inside. Every tear she shed was fuel for the fire inside me. The final act of my plan, however, was the grandest. It wasn't just about exposing them. It was about destroying their sense of security, their pride, their future. And for that, I planned something so cold, so calculated, that it still sends shivers down my spine when I think of it. I decided their betrayal wouldn't just end their relationship with me. It would ruin their reputations, their finances, and their ability to trust anyone ever again. The day of my revenge came like a storm. I organized a gathering, a small party at our house, under the guise of celebrating Sophie's birthday. Friends, family, neighbors, everyone important in our lives was there. Sophie was radiant, pretending to be the perfect wife. Daniel, of course, showed up too, pretending to be my loyal friend. But I had prepared a slideshow. When it was time to toast Sophie, I connected my laptop to the big screen. At first, everyone saw smiling photos of Sophie and me through the years. Laughter filled the room. Then, slowly, the images changed. Screenshots of Sophie's text with Daniel appeared. Photos of them together, kissing outside hotels. Voice recordings of whispered phone calls. The room went silent. Sophie's face drained of color. Daniel froze, his glass slipping from his hand. Gasps echoed around us. Her parents looked at her in horror. My parents shook their heads in disgust. And I stood tall, watching them drown in their own shame. This, I said calmly, is the truth behind the woman I loved and the man I once called my brother. Sophie begged me to stop, tears streaming down her face. Daniel tried to interrupt, but no one listened. The damage was done. Their secret was now public knowledge. But I wasn't finished. Days later, Daniel realized his accounts were empty. The investment had been a trap. He was broke, jobless, and socially destroyed. Sophie, on the other hand, faced divorce papers. I left her with nothing but debts she didn't know existed. Debts I had carefully shifted under her name during the months of my preparation. In the end, Sophie moved out, her life reduced to ashes. Daniel disappeared, his pride shattered beyond repair. And me, I rebuilt, slowly, painfully, but with the satisfaction of knowing justice, my justice, had been served. Do I regret it? Sometimes. But then I remember the nights I cried alone, the mornings I forced a smile while they laughed behind my back. And I realized revenge didn't just destroy them. It saved me.